So, I saw the new Aladdin a couple of nights ago, as of when I wrote this review, but as of when I'm talking to you right now, I saw it about 2 to 3 weeks ago. And in short, I actually love it. It is hard to not compare it to its predecessor, which it doesn't even hold a candle to, of course, but looking at it on its own, it's a goofy, colorful, intentionally and unintentionally hilarious take on the original. Now, the opening was weak, I want to acknowledge that right out the gate. I wasn't enthused with Miss Scott's performance in the beginning. I didn't like how they kind of took away the rebellious bravery Jasmine had in the original, but honestly, whatever. Aladdin is the stronger character in this adaptation, and I was willing to cast her aside to focus more on his arc. Mina Massoud gives a very strong performance that was a joy to watch, and also, he's hot, so there's that. The other gripe I had with the opening was that the musical numbers were very unspectacular. It sort of just looks like the characters singing as they run around, not like a performance in a proper musical like Grease or Into the Woods. I wish they would have just gone for it and had it all choreographed and showy and shit like that. And, interesting thought here. Since writing this, I also went to see Rocket Man, and that's a better musical than Aladdin. Anyways, they actually did do this for the Friend Like Me scene, but that was the scene where the characters should have been standing around looking like they had no fucking idea what was going on, like that guy from Enchanted in the park scene. Uh, Aladdin just goes for it and starts doing splits with the genie. It's so random and silly, which is actually something I love about this movie. It goes with all this ridiculous bullshit that just seems so odd and out of place with the tone, and it's amazing. One more example of this is where Jasmine is getting taken away by some guards, who are now under the control of Jafar, and the scene freezes, so that she can astral project out of her body, perform a musical number about empowerment or something, and then return to her physical form to fight back. It was a fucking riot, and I know it wasn't supposed to be, which makes it even better. Also, the song felt really forced, and it was stupid. Like all the original songs people add to these live-action Disney remakes. Rip and piss. Now let's talk about the genie, finally. I always trusted Will Smith to do well in the role, and I'm really not disappointed. It's not Robin Williams, not at all, but it was never supposed to be. It's like Jared Leto doing the Joker after Heath Ledger. Don't try to recreate something that can't be done again. This is Will Smith's own genie, and you can tell he's having the time of his fucking life in this role. He's got plenty of great one-liners and gags, enough that I'd be willing to go see it all again. Now, I have a couple more complaints before I start to wrap up this review, but they're pretty quick. First, the development of relationships felt incredibly rushed to me and difficult to buy. The emphasis on Genie, quote, not doing friends, unquote, didn't help because it made the supposedly strong friendship between him and Aladdin that appeared within 3 days that much harder to swallow. And the romance between Aladdin and Jasmine is, of course, rushed and unbelievable, but I can't dig at that too much. What could I possibly expect from a Disney flick? And finally, the final battle, or whatever, with Jafar was very unspectacular, and Jafar in general, actually, is pretty unspectacular in this. And Iago's character is weakened to, absolute maximum capacity. He always speaks in that parrot tone and doesn't really contribute that same comedic attribute. And with that out of the way, I want to end on some things I actually liked. I love the decision to make Jasmine the Sultan. It's some very casual female empowerment that makes sense for her character, and I appreciated it. And finally, I love the costuming and world design. It's so bright and colorful and feels so alive, even more than the original, if you ask me. Anyways, those are my thoughts on Aladdin. I do look forward to my next viewing, and I'm curious to see what anyone else thinks.